every man's heart one day beats its final beat. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others, and his essence, his spirit, will be immortalized forever.
The crazy Puerto Rican. CPR Jose Ortiz is in the building. Jamming freestyle in New England. And now. The world furl.
Breaking my heart, I'm not giving up on you, 'cause I want you forever. Got me crazy inside, so baby take me
WTCC.
TKA celebrated 30 years last year. How does that make you feel?
Well, honored really. I can say that the usual thing that we would usually say is old, but I feel honored that this music has stood the test of time. I mean, you and I have spoken about this before. It's basically it's a lot of people wish that they can say that their music stood the test of time, but all these songs have lived on. Not only TKA songs, but Judy's records, George's records, Stevie's records. These records have lasted, and it's a testament to not only the people who grew up on this record, but I think the music itself, the production at the time, and it told these stories that are still universal to this day.
All right, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. I guess we have to do this every 7 years, where we have to go back in time and discuss the history of TKA. For some reason, it always translates different online. When you go on Facebook or social media, everyone is trying to rewrite history, and I think it's important for us to discuss the history of TKA and the things, how it stands right now. So
can I say one thing?
Sure.
You can't rewrite history. You can move on from the past, but you can't rewrite history.
Yes, but people like to tell tales now. They like to go on Facebook and just recreate history. They try to rewrite it with their computer behind the monitor on groups. And sometimes, you read things and I'm like, that's not true. Well, that's not true. What? That's not true at all. So, I like to refresh our audience of the history of TKA. Let's talk about AB for a second. AB was part of TKA in the beginning. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely.
In the first album released October 11th of 1987, Scars of Love album, he was featured throughout the entire album. He sang leads on songs like One Way Love, Come Get My Love, X-Ray Vision, and he also shared a track with you, Scars of Love. What are your thoughts on AB right now?
On AB right now, like today?
Today? Yesterday?
All right. I think, first of all, let's start yesterday. Grateful I am to have had someone as talented as AB to work with. He did a phenomenal job on our Scars of Love album. And One Way Love is, to me, is still, what I consider a freestyle, classic and a masterpiece, if you will. What Joey did with that song, he took 5 unprofessional, untalented, to be honest with you, because we were untalented at that moment. We didn't know what the hell to do with our voices. We had a dream. We wanted to sing. We knew that we could write songs, but we weren't as good as we thought we were, to be honest with you. And what Joey did with that record was, masterful. And, AB's vocals on that record was a testament of that.
Now,
So,
what happened to AB after the Scars of Love album?
Wait. Let me finish. It's a longer answer than that. So, like I said, AB did a phenomenal job on that album. When you ask me what happened to AB after that, AB was asked to leave the group by myself, Joey Gardner, and Tony, and then he went on to be part of a few groups. He had his own group. I always forget the name. I always confuse it with the Miami Group Voices.
Well,
it had to do.
We got Ann Moore, True Voices.
He was part of Ann Moore for a minute. He sang "Materialistic Girl" with Ann Moore.
Right.
Then wasn't it Voices? I always see Voices in Fashion, but I know that's a totally different group, right?
It was True Voices.
True Voices.
Yes.
And
he also was with Adam Morano on Viper Records.
Yes, but that was sometime after that, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was much later on.
Absolutely.
If I'm correct. I'm not sure. But he had left the group, and we got a replacement for him at that moment, which was a gentleman by the name of Angel Vasquez. What I feel about AB today, I think that AB still has talent. I think that he's still a good singer. I haven't really listened to any of the stuff that he's done with his wife, but I know he's done numerous records with his wife. I sang with him on a song that close to about 10 years now ago. We sang on a song together that Sapphire was going to release, and it was an incredible song. And it was nice to sing with him again, and it was nice to share the time in the we didn't really get to spend time with each other, but it was nice to be on a record with him vocally again, and it was really good. Personally, I don't know. I know that he feels a certain type of way towards me, which is I can't say that I feel the same towards him, but I don't have any animosity towards him personally, but I've been told that he has animosity towards me. But
okay, so
that's not my issue.
Here's your $50,000 question. So, how many songs in the entire catalog of TKA, every release ever done by the group TKA, has he sung?
Have I sung?
Has AB sung?
Singles or songs on the album?
Well, freestyle songs. We're not talking about slow ballads because, honestly, when people go to concerts, freestyle concerts, they don't care about the TKA ballads. So,
okay. Freestyle songs. AB sang "One Way Love," "Come Get My Love," "X-Ray Vision," and he co-sang "Scars of Lovers."
Okay, so that's exactly what I have on my list here. Just want to do some fact checking with you. So here we are, 30 years later, and we have TKA, K7 TKA, and then we have another version of TKA, or a version of TKA that is going around trying to be TKA. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about the other TKA?
Well, yeah, the other members of TKA claiming to be TKA, and then turning it around and making it seem like it's Fantasyland or Bizarro World, and then calling you the fake one.
It's plain and simple. How I feel about it. First of all, like I said earlier, you can't rewrite history. Those guys were part of this group, but for some reason or another, throughout the past 30 years, each one of them was either were let go, were fired, or abandoned the name. And when you use those terms, you look at those terms, it says that they're no longer part of it. So then, when you're in a marketplace and you're working constantly, and you've taken what was left and you've rebuilt it, and you take ownership of it, if you will. It becomes yours, right?
All right, so
Yours.
here's
You
another
do it
50.
legally. It's not done illegally. You do it legally. When you abandon something, you abandon it. There's laws of abandonment.
Okay,
And
let's pause for a second. So before we continue on, the second $50,000 question. So how many songs did the other members of TKA sing, the freestyle ones? Which ones were the ones that they were featured on that they sang leads on?
No other member of TKA other than myself and AB sang leads on any of the freestyle tracks.
Okay, so the score is 0 for the other members of TKA, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to rewrite history. I mean, you can Google it, people. So AB sang 3.5 freestyle songs of the TKA catalog. The other members 0. Okay, so now we're back. It's 2017. I already had this conversation with all the members of the group in 2011. Now we're back to 2017, and it's happening all over again, where we got people claiming to be TKA at different parts of the country and getting booked as TKA, singing over your songs, actually.
Basically, as I was saying before, there's, you move on, you do things legally. I've been working in the marketplace under this name for now good, I want to say 15 years, and under this name, solely under my brand, the way that I rebranded it. And we've kept this as well, not by ourselves, because there's plenty of other artists that have been doing it, as well, but we've kept freestyle going.
Okay.
All of us together.
So now,
if you will. It's a joint effort.
Right. So TKA, was TKA originally your concept?
Was TKA originally my concept?
Yes.
The concept that started TKA is the following. I approached Anthony Ortiz on the corner between 96th Street and 97th Street in Park Avenue. I walked up to him. He was a local rapper in the neighborhood. I approached him, I walked up to him, and I said the following. I said, I have a song I want you to hear. At the time, I was down in another group. I was with Fareed Abdullah and John Lindsay and a gentleman by the name of Andrew Welch. We had a group before that. That story, has to, will branches off into the history of Lisa, but I'll tell you the story. So I was at that corner. I walked up to Anthony Ortiz, and I said, I have this song I'd like you to hear. Maybe we can do it together. And I said to him, what do you think? Us as a duo. I was thinking of becoming a duo with that particular gentleman. And he says, sing me the song. So again, I go between the corners of 96th Street. I lived on the corner of 96th Street in Park because my mother worked at Mount Sinai Hospital. So because she worked at Mount Sinai, we were able to live on a Mount Sinai building. Not that we had the money to, we were just able to live there because of it. Between that, I sang him in front of the supermarket right there in the corner. I sang to him Scars of Love. He says, wow, that sounds dope. He says, we should meet tomorrow. I said, we can make a group. And he says, would you be willing to do a group with me and my cousin? Which was AB. I said, sure. Could I bring my best friend? Which was Spider. And he said, yeah, meet me at my house tomorrow. I said, sure. We met at the house the following day. We started learning these songs. I had like 4 or 5 songs that I had written. We started singing them to each other. We started learning these songs. And from that moment, we became inseparable. The 4 of us became inseparable. Spider was known in the neighborhood for impersonating Prince. Tony was known in the neighborhood for rapping. So were me and AB. And we started wanting to be a group then. We didn't have a name originally. We didn't have a name until we sat down in the living room one day in Tony's fire escape, as a matter of fact. And we brought out a pen and paper. We were all supposed to be there to pick names. Spider didn't come early. Spider came late. We were on the balcony. Tony's ex-wife was inside. And we were on the balcony choosing names. So we were thinking, at the time it was early, it was the early days of hip hop. So there were groups, like the Treacherous Three and, and wild names like that, Fantastic Four, all these different names. So we were coming up with different names. On that list of papers, we were trying to choose any name possible that we can possibly pick up. Out the top of my mouth came the word, we should call ourselves TKA. Now, I swear this on my mother. I swear this on my children. I swear this on anybody in my family. I swear this on my own success. So I'm willing to bet my life on this. So I said, we should call ourselves TKA. And then I quickly said, no, we can't, because Spider's not here. And there's no letter for Spider. They said, no, that sounds cool. Write it down anyway. They wrote it down. We started going through names. Spider still hadn't arrived. So I had put down another name called Disciples. So in all the list of names, the two names that were there was TKA and the word Disciples. Separate. Not together yet. Separate. But we kept going back to the name TKA. When Spider came in, he said, well, what are the names? We said TKA. He said, oh, that sounds cool. I said, but we should call it, maybe we should call it TKAST or whatever, like cast or something. And everybody thought that I was corny for adding the S. Spider was okay with it, or we said, just to be fair, we'll call it TKA Disciples. That's what we chose to call it. There are even street flyers from back then when we called ourselves that. When we used to perform at St. Francis, there's flyers that even say that. So then we went on, and I lived on 90, at one point I lived on 93rd Street and 1st Avenue at another Mount Sinai building for the Mount Sinai Hospital in the city. And when I lived around there, I was 3 blocks away from Tommy Boy Records. I walked up to Tommy Boy Records one day. I walked in, I saw Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force. They gave me a Tommy Boy t-shirt. It was blue with the logo on the left chest. The characters were white. I walked inside the office, and behind the desk was a gentleman who was the receptionist, young guy. I said, what is this? He said, it's a record company. He told me what it was. It was just, to me, it was the thing above the soccer store, because it was a soccer store on First Avenue. I said, what is this? He told me what it was. He told me it was a record label. I said, oh, my group sings. Maybe you want to come see us perform. We're performing on 97th Street between Lexington and Park, which was the church. It was called St. Francis, which was a school that I went to. He said yes. He came, met all of us. That gentleman goes by the name of Joey Gardner, who ended up being our producer and manager for the early years of this group.
Joey Gardner has got on record stating that you were the reason why he signed the group. Is that the truth?
Yeah, basically.
Well,
he had relationships with all of us,
right?
But, this is, this doesn't take away from anyone's talents, but this is the actual truth. We turned around and for a while we said that the Latin Rascals discovered us. It wasn't that the Latin Rascals discovered us, it's that we met the Latin Rascals first. We were doing parties at, community centers around Spanish Harlem. And Albert Cabrera, who's from Spanish Harlem, was the first of the Latin Rascals that we met. Before we met Tony Moran, we met Albert Cabrera. And he had heard about us from this keyboardist by the name of Sammy, who used to play like the school auditoriums that we would perform at, and this place called B&B that we would perform at. He had a little Casio, and he would play his keyboard at Casio. So he told Albert Cabrera about us, and we met through him. This is basic and true history. You could ask anybody in Spanish Harlem this history, and they'll basically tell you there's no changing or watering down. The thing about social media these days, and we've spoken about it a million times, is that anybody could get on their soapbox
and turn around and tell a different story.
Yeah, I got a follow-up question though. So there's a
For their own
video.
purposes.
There's a video of you and the group talking about how you came up with the name. Now, is that something that was rehearsed, or is that something that was scripted, or is that just the way you wanted the story to be told for that particular interview?
Yeah, it's the way you wanted the story to be told. At that time, you have to embellish a story to make it sound better. So, you can't just say that it was, this or that. You have to make up a story to make it sound better. So, this group has had many different names. No one name has ever stuck. How could you call it TKA and it mean 3 letters when, the 3 members, when you have a vocal powerhouse like India? You're not paying any respect. When you have someone like Spider, you're not paying any respect. So you can't turn around and say it's strictly for the initials. When those individuals left, then we turned around and we started calling it that. But then when one of those individuals left, we called it the next guy's name. And then at one point when George was there, we even wanted to change it again and call it that, that guy's name. So let's not turn around and say that this has an anchor, because there's always been a fluidity on what the names represented. And if you want to be even more honest, when we showed up to Miami for the first time and did the Banana Boat and Casanovas, they called us Totally Kicking Ass. And the reason that we didn't go about, and we all liked that name, and the only reason that we didn't do that is because they turned around and you couldn't say ass on the radio back then. And we also called ourselves, which came out of my mouth as well, Total Knowledge and Action, when it was the original 5, because they kept asking us what our name was. I said, Total Knowledge and Action. And it just flew out my mouth at a radio interview that we did in Miami, because we had no name. We had no reason. There was no rhyme or reason to why we called it that.
Now, putting the name aside for a second, how do you feel about people saying that you shouldn't sing your own songs? I mean, the name aside, we just talked about the catalog of freestyle songs that you sing as TKA, as the frontman of TKA after AB left the group. Why is it that you think that they're saying that you shouldn't sing your own songs?
I think it's the the mob mentality. It's like you ever watch a horror movie? You ever watch Frankenstein, like the old original Frankenstein? When all of a sudden, Frankenstein is up at the castle and all the townspeople decide to get their torches and they start marching towards the thing to kill Frankenstein. Well, that's what happens on social media. People don't understand why they're doing it, but they just follow the crowd because they think that that's what they want to do. They don't really actually know the history. It's like, it's the weirdest thing. It's like, like someone on a Monday will send me something that someone posted complaining. And it's usually the same 10 people making a ruckus for like 200 to 300 posts about the same issue, regurgitating the same story that they want to tell, so that someone could pay attention to that story. It's a negative story. But the funniest thing is that when that same thing happens to those same people, they get really frustrated that someone is looking at them negatively.
Can you be a little more specific? I mean, I know that you're trying to not name any names, but like I said, the point that I'm trying to make,
it's not a matter of naming names. It's this. Look, social media, it's someone's interpretation of who they think they want you to be like. I am nothing, absolutely nothing like what I'm made out to be. I'm public enemy number 1, to most of these freestyle pages. I'm just a guy that wakes up Monday morning, minds his business, worries about how I'm going to entertain people the following weekend. And I've been doing that for the past 30 years, worrying about what's the next thing I got to do to make sure that I can continue to pursue my dream. I don't, back in 1998 to like 2000. I used to get on the social media sites, and I used to go on rants trying to explain to somebody that we need to fight and pursue to get this music on the radio, to keep this music going. And I predicted 99% of the stuff that's happening now to this music, and no one wanted to listen. I felt like the little boy that cried wolf. And to this day, to this hour, I'm still going, I knew that this was going to happen, and I knew that was going to happen. And when I watch these people do what they do on social media, I think to myself, what a waste of time. They're, like, concentrating on my group. I appreciate the fact that, that the people that do love us so much, that they hold us so dear, that they're passionate. But in the same vein, you don't know the true story. And if you knew the true story, your feelings about people, would be totally different. And your feelings about how the perception would be totally different. But that's not anybody else's business but I want to say the four of us currently, because that's the honest to God truth. And, everybody else out there that's telling a story, well, some people are really angry, and when they tell their story, they embellish their story like if it were true, and 99% of what they're saying, and I'm saying 99% of what they're saying, is not true. And whatever it is true, they mix it with a lie because they want you to side with them. Mind you, I'm right here, and I've stayed silent for a long period of time. I got friends who I talk to, but I stay silent. And the reason that I stay silent is basic. I don't want to sit here crying and moaning to anyone. It's not that, it's not for them to, I'm not trying to make them choose a side. I'm not trying to make the public choose a side. I'm not.
A few weeks ago, I got a text, and it said that you had punched somebody in the face backstage at a show. Is that accurate? We don't have to mention the guy's name. We already know he had it coming for 20 years, but is it true that you punched him in the face?
All right, so I'm going to talk to you as a man, okay?
What have you been talking to me as for the last hour?
No. I'm going to talk to you as a man, all right? Because I don't have to make up a story. I don't have to lie. There's no winning in life. Let's just be 100. If I would have connected, I would have felt, I want to say vindicated. I did not connect.
So it was a swing and a miss.
I was a swing and a miss.
So it was swing, bada, swing and a miss, is what you're saying.
Now, every time someone after that walked up to me, his own so-called friends, the people that were supposedly on his side and talking crap about me, on the side were writing to me and applauding the fact that they thought that I actually connected. But the truth of the matter is, I did it. Should I have swung? Should I have swung? No. But here's the deal. You can turn around and you can put your trust in people, right? And you can turn around and you can save people from themselves, right? A million times. And when those people let you down, when those people that you saved from themselves a million times let you down, you feel like a fool for helping them. You feel like a fool for looking out for them when in all actuality they disrespect you and they turn around and they dishonor you. So, I've saved certain individuals from themselves many times. And when you turn around and then you decide to make me your I don't know, I want to say your
scapegoat.
Yeah.
That's the best way to say it.
I think you also with that story, I guess you gave them credibility and you give them something to strive for on a daily basis, because some people don't have goals in life and they don't have things to do, so they figured if a celebrity hit me and I say they connected, I'm going to be popular because I'm going to be a victim.
All right, so here's it in a nutshell. I'm gonna give it to you like this. We are all in what we consider the freestyle business, right? And the thing about the freestyle business, for the majority of us here, is a lot of us don't know what business really is and how you handle business, and what are the factors that are important in business. Period. Right? So when you take someone under your wing and you sit there and you go, this is right and this is wrong. Do this, don't do that. Hey, you're gonna make a horrible mistake. Don't put yourself in this corner. And when you give someone advice constantly, over and over again, and you try to get them to do the right thing and they keep choosing the wrong, at some point you just gotta give up. You can't continue to sit there and walk someone in hand. Like when you lose friends one by one, and someone keeps telling you this is why you lost this one, and they go, oh, all right, well I won't do that again, and then they lose another one. You go, well, that's why you lost that one, and they still don't pay attention to you, and then you're the last one left.
So what this person did was they burned a bridge. And because they were persona non grata and no one in the entire area or promotion wanted to deal with them, they went to the other side of the group and then they started carrying their banner.
I mean, no, yeah, that's basically what it is. That's basically what it all comes down to. Did I connect? Did I? Unless I did one of those Street Fighter Ayukin.
That's what happened.
If I did a Street Fighter, move and I did Ayukin, and that's the only way I can, number one, loosen a tooth or teeth or knock teeth out of mouths. That didn't happen.
There's this new trend, by the way.
And by the way, I left calmly. And, the story is that I performed early because I had to get out of there because the cops were coming for me. No, it's not the story. The reason I performed early is because if you go look at the flyer said TKA show. After the TKA show is going to be the TKA Fireworks Spectacular. So when I got there, because that day was overcast and we were expecting thunderstorms, Vic Latino and Brian Rosenberg, my manager and the promoter of the night, said, we want you to go on early. In fact, when I got there, before the incident even happened, they said, we want you to go on early because it's gonna pour. So I was originally fighting it because I didn't want to go on earlier. They said, we want you to go on before George and Rob Bass. I said, no, I don't think it's going to rain. They said, oh, no, it's going to rain. It didn't rain. But right. You wanted me to go on because MacArthur Airport, which is right by the venue, it's less than 5 miles away from the venue. The planes fly right over that, so you can't do fireworks right over it when the planes are landing. So there was a certain period of time of which they wanted it to happen.
Well, speaking of landing the plane, I just want to say, look, it didn't happen, right? You swung and you missed. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely.
Right? So my issue right now is that we have people that call themselves friends, and then what they do is they screenshot stuff, they save it, conversations from 5-10 years ago, and then when they get upset with you or things don't work out their way, they save that information for later.
Yeah, but people do that. Here's the funny thing about it. You have, if all the conversations were saved and if all the conversations were recorded, I'm sure that the other side that now sides with this individual, and if they really knew how much that individual has done personally without instruction,
Yeah, because you put them up to it, right? It's always your fault.
Right, because I'm persona non grata, so I'm the poster boy for freestyle hate, as I like to refer to myself. So if the people knew, if those individuals who are now his who are now on his side actually knew how much damage that he actually caused them, the story would be a lot different. But that's neither here nor there. I take it on the chin. I know what I did. I know what I attempted to do. I didn't succeed at it. I know what I attempted to do. Right? And I know I didn't succeed. Trust me, my wife, let me have it. As I told everyone prior to the situation, I told all promoters, I said, please do me a favor. I didn't say do not use the individual. What I said was, if you're going to have this person work for you, that's fine, but please don't have them anywhere near me. So the person was still making money. I just asked for him not to be around me repeatedly. That's it. Don't have the guy around me. Don't do that. And they tried to act logic. I said, no, please, let's not do that. Let's not have this individual around me. You could use them for whatever you need them for. That's your choice, but don't have them around me. That didn't happen on that particular day. I guess, they wanted to put him in close. He's gone out his way to turn around and say that he was speaking for certain individuals and that those certain individuals were giving him pull and so on and so forth. And he likes to make up stories. But, that's not important. What's more important right now is this music. And the fact that, that this music still is important to these fans. It's not the hate. The hate, they can go online every single day, and they can choose to believe it because, listen, my grandmother, used to read El Vocero and used to, hear the bullshit and sometimes fall for it, all the bochinches that used to be online. And my mother used to read the Inquirer and used to believe half the bochinches that are in the Inquirer. So if you want to go on freestyle sites and believe the bochinches that are going on like if it's the actual factual truth, it is not. This is just to make certain people look better. And, and not everyone out there who acts like they are the most amazing and superstar tough guys, they're not really tough guys. They're not. And
that's been proven. That's been proven time and time again. I mean, that's a fact.
It's been proven time and time again, and it'll be proven 10 times again more. Look, I'm not here. I'm not the most imposing character ever, but I'm not going to sit there pretending online that I'm something that I'm not. I know the work that I put in. I know the work that I continue to put in. I know who's helped me along the way. I don't forget that. I know who did who and what, and who did what. I don't forget that. I don't need to lie about my work ethic or what I did. I don't have to do that. What it is today is what it is today. What it was then, what it was then. I've always said, and I've said it a million times in your show, I said, those individuals that used to work with me back in the day will forever be part of the history of this group. It's just that currently they're not members. It's like Lionel Richie cannot say that he's a member of the Commodores because he's not a member of the Commodores. He'll forever be a Commodore, but he's not a Commodore any longer.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the word original? Because I see that a lot. Original TKA. I'm like, there's two A's there.
The word original is this. The word original, when it comes to TKA, let's be honest. When it comes to TKA, the word original, it's not. Nothing in TKA is original until Spider, India, and those two individuals and myself, right? Not all three. When those 5 individuals are together, when Voltron gets back together, and that's the best way to say it. When Voltron gets back together, that's when you can call it original. you can't call it original with two people and a guy, you know, and no disrespect for saying it this way, but it has to be said as the truth is. You can't call it original with a guy who is a replacement. You can't.
Well, what's next for TKA? I know that you released a 30th anniversary album. You know, True Love was the #1 requested song of the entire year of 2016. You also have some popular music also available. So talk about that.
Last year we decided to record an entire album of what I consider freestyle tracks or modern freestyle tracks, and you know, and which is out. It's called TKA 30. You know, Love Goes On, and you can find it on iTunes. This year, over the summer, what I decided to do is I decided to release more popular, like modern sounding songs. You can say that they're K7S, or you can say that it's what's on the radio today. Because you know that's the type of stuff that I record and that I've been doing on my time in the studio. That you know there'll be something freestyle-esque later on, God willing, in the year before December. But right now, this is what it is, and it's gearing up for 2 albums. To be honest with you, under the TKA banner that'll be coming out shortly. I'm just trying to keep this going, and you know, keep it going and keep it fun.
Now, a follow-up question: what are your thoughts on your partners, Lowe's and Trace?
I've been working with these guys since 1990. Since 1990. Non-stop since 1990. They started out as background dancers for us in TKA, choreographers and background dancers. So it's kind of insulting when people turn around and go that they've never been part of TKA's history, when there's video footage of them dancing with us back in '91, and you know, and the dance moves, the most popular dance move for this group, the Maria dance step, was created by Wilson Vasquez in my living room, where we all used to rehearse, you know, in Zarega, in Fuller, in the Bronx, New York. So when, you know, Carlos has been around for the longest time. When we toured with Paula Abdul, you know, TK toured with Paula Abdul for a short period of time. Those guys were with us on that tour, performing with us. They went out with us for an entire year of doing performances. You know, so Wilson Vasquez and Carlos Reyes, you know, Trey and Los have been around this for the longest time. They then became, after the group's breakup, I then baptized them into being called the Swing Kids. And they were the Swing Kids until I bought the trademark and decided to then incorporate or merge both, if you will. And to me, then I chose to call them TK, you know, members of TK, if you will. You know, and you know, it's their contribution to freestyle cannot be their contribution to freestyle cannot be ignored. These guys started out with Cynthia. These guys have danced with George Lamont. These guys have choreographed for many of these groups. So when people say that they're nobodies, you know, it's funny.
And I'm sure that they both know their place, right? They know that if somebody comes up with a TKA record, one of the first releases, and it has a picture of AB on there, they're not going to sign the 12-inch, right? They're going to give them an autograph.
No, the rule of thumb is when we sign autographs, I sign wherever I want to sign, and I ask them specifically to sign on me. I tell them, you sign over my body. That's specific. That's the rule of thumb, and it's always been the rule of thumb. You sign over my body. Don't sign over anybody else's body. You sign over my body. Because, you know, I know that there's a sensitivity out there that makes others feel like people are taking their place. Like, they act like our fans don't know the difference. And in their own minds, they diminish their worth in this group, because if they think that fans don't know who they are as compared to who Carlos and Los is, it's the funniest thing ever. You know.
One follow-up question as well. You don't go and perform songs that are sung by other members of TKA, so you're not singing the songs that AB sang when you do your show.
No, I stopped singing AB songs, and it wasn't. I stopped singing AB songs in the sense of I never sang the lead of his record ever on stage, other than when it was Angel, Tony, and myself back in 2000 that I would do "Come Get My Love" and Angel would do "One Way Love."
Well, I just find it interesting that they like to throw that out there. They like to put YouTube videos and things like that, but they never put that video of when AB left the group, and they never put the video of the TKA from the first album of X-Ray Vision when the replacement is lip syncing AB's part.
Well, I mean, you know, that's social media for you. It's you put up what you want to put up, and you exclude what you don't want to put up, and you know, and that's basically what it is. People sit there and they try to pretend like, you know, like how can I put it, like the sky's green, you know. They pretend like the sky is green and like they can cover the sky, you know, and change it. They forget.
Do you feel that you've been respectful to the other members?
Listen, I don't get online and chastise anyone. I don't, you know, what I personally believe about, you know, the four individuals, they personally know how I feel, you know. I don't sit there and have to turn around and, you know, I don't, to be honest with you, I don't desire to speak to any of them. Like I said, I have nothing against Davey, but I don't have the desire to speak to the other two. Never really wanted to, you know, because there's, to be honest with you, there's too much water under the bridge. And to say, you know, to sit there and get online, it's not manly. You know, to sit there and cry online and curse somebody out and you know. Do
you think this is a money thing, not necessarily, you know, that people saying that they're trying to do the right thing and that people, you know, do you think it's just a money thing?
I think that's one of the issues. Yeah, I think that's one of the. There's a couple of other factors in there, but you know, but I think it's that. I also think it's seeing something continue on without you. It's the ex-girlfriend scenario. It's like, you know, you when you break up with that ex-girlfriend, you want her to get ugly and you don't want her to look cute anymore, and you don't want her to go on and get better looking and do better without you.
Now you're getting me mad. You're getting me mad now.
You know, I'm sorry that I'm using that analogy, but I think that's the case. I think that when you look back and you knew that you were part of something and you're not there anymore, you know, it leaves you out. You know,
I think go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is, you know, I think we've already we've beaten this topic. You know, we've beaten a dead horse. And what I'm trying to say is that we've already talked about the history. We gave credit to AB for singing 4 songs, 3.5, whatever, of the freestyle songs, and then we talked about every other release. From Louder Than Love to Maria to, you know, True Love from 2016 to Set It Off to, you know, all the songs that came after, you know, and before, you know, you'd sing them. They're yours. So you have every right to sing your own songs. And if you created another group, K7 and the Swing Kids, you have every right to sing those songs. So people, when they go see you, they're getting 2 shows for 1. So
yeah,
how can they go wrong?
You know what the funniest thing is? That the people on social media, and it's funny because I've been sent so many of these things. they turn around and they go, "Oh, it's K7 and the Swing Kids," like it's a bad thing. Let me give you guys a real quick, brief history. The K7 album, the Swing by the Swing album, was a platinum selling album. It's not. It was certified gold and then became platinum. It's a platinum selling album to this day. K7, the name K7, and the K7 and the Swing Kids, to be 150% is a more popular worldwide name around the world than TKA. Now, it was my choice to merge both and call it what it is. And my choice to do so because I wanted to do it. I could have kept going as something else, but that's what I chose to do. When people turn around and go, "Oh, when they use K7 and the Swing Kids, like if it's an insult to me, it's not an insult to me. That's who I am."
I know there are people that would love to go to a Mark Anthony concert, to go to the India concert, to go to a Brenda K. Starr concert, and have them do their salsa stuff and then sing their freestyle hits. Like I would die if Mark Anthony sang "Time" at one of his concerts. If La India just started belting "Dancing on the Fire,"
Well, she does. She does do that.
It's history. It's part of their culture. It's part of their history. And I don't understand this divide between freestyle and popular music, because freestyle is popular music. And so,
well, it's you know what it is. It's people. It's this. When everyone thought that Run DMC still lived in Hollis, Queens, you felt like, oh, it's so dope that they still live around the way. But living around the way keeps you susceptible. It keeps you within the problems of around the way. And the goal of becoming successful is to change everything for the better, not just for you, but for your family. There's nothing wrong with living around the way, but it's like you want to be successful. You got into music so that you can succeed. You got the music so that you can have a better life.
And you continue to hear freestyle elements in popular music today. And from the beginnings with Debbie Harry, sampling freestyle for her track, to 2017 when you hear Despacito remixes, and they put a little bit of freestyle in it, and you're like, that's a freestyle song, and I don't understand. You know what I mean?
There's a heavy Euro movement that's happening that's very freestyle based. It's very much what we were trying to do with Information Society and with the Louder Than Love type records, where it was very Euro sounding and very thing that's happening now. That if we pushed, could help the longevity of this genre. But I'm always the town crier when it comes to talking about what we can do to make it better.
Well, who do you listen to now from the new school, though?
Well, you got Willie, who I still listen to, and I listen to Cynthia, and George Anthony. I like George Anthony a lot. I support Sammy. Sammy's a good friend, a good and loyal friend. I listen to. I'm dying to hear the new song by Angel Mena. At one point I was listening to, the Julio Mena stuff. That's me being honest. Do I listen to it as much as, am I a constant listener? To be honest with you, no. But I don't want to lie, because I'm currently doing something totally different.
So where are you going to be performing next? Because we are having limited time here. We got about 5 more minutes, and I want to make sure that people get to check you out. I know that you're still with Sal Abatello. He's still promoting you. He's part of the reason why you are going strong in 2017. Also, your manager.
Shout out to Sal. Yes, he's one of the many booking agents that's been booking me. Sal's been booking me since we first started in this business. And Brian Rosenberg, my manager, yes. Where I'm going to be this weekend, I'm going to be at Evo Lounge in the Bronx, New York. And then on Sunday, Saturday I'll be at Evo. Sunday I'll be at DJ's in Belmont. It's an early show. It's a 6:00 show. Anybody coming off the beach can go to DJ's and you'll see us there performing. September 3rd, we're going to be at the Coney Island Amphitheater, which is an amazing show. We do it every year. It's outdoors. It's a beautiful setting for freestyle. All your favorites are going to be there. We also got some good things coming up in the months of October, November, and December. A big show, and we have a big show in October. And oh my God! We're doing the rap. We're doing the Rap Pack, which is which is George, Judy, myself, and a few others that are going to be doing Westbury Music Fair. And there's a lot of good things up in the horizon. I'm happy. If you want to follow me, it's at K7TKA on all social media platforms. There you can find all the stuff that we're doing and all the future events that are out there. Listen, before in closing, real quick, there's a lot of rumors. Don't believe everything you read. People want to become famous, and the reason they want to become famous or find notoriety is, they like it better when they put somebody else down. Notice that I've been quiet. I spoke today because this gentleman asked me questions. He's been trying to ask me questions for like 8 years, and I keep telling him, no, I don't want to talk about that. That's not what I want to talk about. I did it today because there's a lot of BS going around, and I'd rather just tell the truth so that you hear it once. I'm not here to defame anybody or make anybody look stupid. I'm just trying to say, this is my truth. And that's it.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us, and I want to thank you for trusting us to do this 2-hour broadcast and talk to you and ask you the hard questions. We are friends, but
Yes.
I didn't treat you friendly during the interview. So just understand that the reason why I asked these questions and the reason
and we will talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why I had to ask those questions is because they feel like I'm this huge supporter of you and K7 and TKA, which is true. But I'm not gonna be fair. So I want to make sure that we get all the questions answered and that we get the history of our music back on track and not let other people rewrite history as they think that it should be or as they see it, which is really truly unfair.
I'm good. Listen, I understand. I understand what you had to do. I appreciate it, and I just thank you for giving me the opportunity. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, they also don't know how many times you tell me you send me back to the lab when I send you something. I'm like, yo, what do you think about this? And he goes, nah, I don't like it. I have to come back and rework it. They don't know about all the times. And how we disagree.
There was one particular time, and I felt horrible that you were so excited about this track you sent me, and then I told you, are you looking for a Christmas vibe?
Yeah.
And you hung up in my face, and you were like, I'll call you back.
No, I hung up. I went back, I fixed the track, and then when I brought it back to you, you said you liked it. So, that's what it is. You make music for your friends, man. When you make music for your friends, and they tell you, they're honest with you, that's what makes good music, man. If I didn't have somebody like Joey Gardner to tell me right from wrong, we all would have been lost back then, and we wouldn't have, a catalog to speak about or fight over. So you got to be grateful for the people that are honest with you.
Well, I thank you again for joining us. So this would be our moment where you are CM Punk and I'm Colt Cabana, and I want to sign off.
All right, man.
Thanks a lot, brother.
All right, talk to you soon.
It's CPR with you. We are Clubhouse Dance Music, and it's time for us to get on out of here. And I want to thank everyone for joining us as we celebrate TKA. And right now is the song that you request here on a weekly basis. It's TKA Maria. And until next time, it's CPR saying goodbye. And thank you for joining us on this 2-hour broadcast of the best of TKA. And remember, it's not who you love, it's how. As we jam freestyle in New England and now the world.
together, I'll show you that I love you, and you'd understand if he's a drug dealer. Don't you know that he won't last forever, and you need the affections of an old man. And when I see your name, I swear I hear the wind blow. It drives me insane, I'll never let you go. And I start to laugh, 'cause I'm so afraid of crying, and I'm dying to see you once more. Maria, the most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria, don't tell your boyfriend how I feel about you, 'cause I need you, and I gotta make you mine. I got to make you mine. Maria, the most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria, don't tell your boyfriend how I feel about you, 'cause I need you, and I gotta make you mine. I got to make you mine.
No smoke, no mirrors. Just the hottest music. Clubhouse dance music with Jose, CPR, Ortiz. Simply the best at what he does on 90.7 FM, WTCC, and WTCC HD Springfield.
Beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria, don't tell your boyfriend how I feel about you, 'cause I need you, and I gotta make you mine. I got to make you mine. Whenever she's around, my whole world starts coming down, and I lose control. When she's away, I begin to miss her. She holds me close, and I can't resist her. She kisses me on the lips, walks away and wiggles her hips, and I lose control. I have that girl, she's all I ever wanted. I got a plan, so understand that I can never be the type of guy trying to make you cry, anticipate, insane, will never truly take a place. So fine, I'll make your mind, it'll be behind in time.